I mean, like they're retired journalists, so that's actually not the thing. My granddad used to be a artistic painter and the decan of the university in Dresden, I believe. And but nothing with music so wise. I don't know how that come up.
Yeah.
I have no idea. Yes, yeah, and it turned out that I wasn't able and turned out to be a producer. And they usually they work on the keyboard like a Martian.
Yeah.
But it's getting better on the keys, but not really like I had like lessons or something. And someone would like saying, "Hey, how you doing the clarinet or something?" Unfortunately, not. I mean, like the thing is actually kind of evolving. I mean, like they're the first draws or sketches, or how you like to call it, and they be done, yeah, in a digital way, which is the way it nowadays is. And most of the time, these draws and sketches go to real life musicians, like brass sections, string solo, whatsoever, and they doing their part, and goes kind of vice versa a few times, like fourth and back, and then in the end there is some sort of a, yeah, like a half-half, like a hybrid product. Yeah, I mean, like they do then real life brass action, for example, like the trombone, basson, stuff like that. And so this is actually, of course, not worked out on a computer. And yeah, so it is half-half in a way. They're pretty much cool with that and easy, and they just let do our thing. When we were younger, they were a bit worried about their time. It's like when you're doing a thing and not earning any kind of money, they getting a little bit worried, but usually with success there comes the righteousness, and so they're fine with the situation now. I think pretty much the sound bending, like working out with some sort of samples, which is coming out of the time period of, let's say, mid-60s to mid-70s, that kind of sound feel, let's put it this way. I don't know how the way they recorded maybe things. So, and yeah, and then when it comes to the audio bending, how much can I get out of the sample and how much can I make this alive into a new composition? That's maybe the main approach on it.
Right.
Not that much anymore, but it's still big ass fun to really work your ass off. It's not like really taking James Brown 4 bars and let's keep it that way and keep it looped on. That's actually not the nice way. Maybe chop it like 5,000 times and turn it into a new composition. That's actually a lot of fun. That's kind of pretty geeky. And yeah, but that's what producers sometimes do. It doesn't really lead to something which you can measure. So yeah, maybe it's just for fun. I wouldn't go so.
You say one word?
No. I mean, like, whatever. I mean, like, first and foremost, it's important for the listener how they put it in a box. I know people like and love it to put things in a box,
Yeah.
and it's, for me personally, it's getting harder and harder to describe that and say, yeah, it is that kind of way. It's actually more and more artists, not only me but other ones. When you say, like, for example, who to pick, like Moderat, Mode Selector, these guys, and they say, yeah, what kind of sound is it? It's they're in their very own niche, in their very own box, and there's no one else in there, and they're pretty comfortable with that. And it's getting more and more with these kind of artists where you not really can say, these 500 artists, they're completely soul, and that's what it is, and nothing but it, and it's getting harder and harder. Let the listeners judge. Out of a time like when I was younger, that was kind of the odd. That was the way to do things. I mean, like, I'm looking for an example who never been asked that. Let's talk about
Modern talking? Just kidding.
For example? No. They maybe might be asked. What about ABBA and all these other Scandinavian guys? No one asked
You're not
these.
Scandinavian.
No, of course not. But no one asked these guys what to do. Of course, you have a broader reach, but this is actually all coming later. That was in German. It sometimes got a very, very folky appeal. And
To do English?
no, to do things in German.
Okay.
And if you're willing to avoid that in any way, it's the easiest pick to do things in English. And it's now 20 years ago when I started to do a thing, and I never changed the track on this, and now it's too late to do so. And yeah, and that's the way things go sometimes. It's it's young, it's growing fresh. They're doing a lot of things, but with huge steps. They still following, of course, as it is not the originator of a country and stuff, but they keep up quite good. Let's put it this way. And I'm quite curious how that is going to look like in 5 to 10 years if you try to measure how the Chinese mentality usually go with things, which maybe not their origin, but an interest or something. You know, like improvising it in the end, doing it bigger and better. Could be that way. Let's have a look how that turns out. I've been with a good friend promoter of mine, Bing in Shanghai, and we had like like Shanghai dumplings and all that is of course, especially under all those dumplings, the Shanghai dumplings are some sort of the good ones, and we had all these kind of special, some sort of tofu varieties, which we don't have.
Sticky tofu?
Also a little, but other ones like really firm stuff and. Stuff that we don't have in Europe at all, of course. It's just that it's just a slobby white matter, or sometimes in chili oil, and then hey, oh, lovely, great stuff. I was in that club. I think was it Hayes, that one down below,
yes.
which is besides all security measures,
It's
and
completely shut down now.
and if there would be a fire, everyone would have died in there.
The staircase, the spiral.
Yeah. When I was coming in, I was like, that's a dying hotspot here, and yeah. But nonetheless, we were happy. No one died, and everyone was having a big fun. It was pretty crowded, so it was an intense night. It was pretty nice. I would have to think about it. Maybe 4 to 6 months or something like that to make a real proper answer. I knew a lot of friends of mine who have some sort of DJ names, and they picked it like 25 years ago, and now they stuck with it, and it started to out be a joke, and now they hate it. And yeah, these kind of things, and you always have to explain. Yeah, it was kind of that fashion, with the funny thing, we have house in it.
With the H-A-U-S.
Yeah, something like that, and all these Z's. And yeah, you have to understand we were young. And yeah, if you go with your real name, you're fine and you're out of that problem. That's actually kind of good. Really doing nothing.
Just like
We Germans have a few words for that. They're unable to translate.
Freizeitmöglichkeit.
No, Müßiggang. And like really doing it really passionate. And yeah, let your soul breathe and stuff. How about doing nothing and being offline? No, bungee jumping, there was this young lady who had, throughout of shock, lost all their hair throughout of bungee jumping. Like a day after, she was bald forever. And so guys, be careful with that bungee jumping.
Your hair just might fall out.
But hey, how about like skate disco? Skate disco. That sounds like
roller
roller disco. This is really innocent, all American fun, and ice cream, no poking in the undershirts and stuff. While recording the song for the movie, I had to sing it like 32 times till my voice dropped, and in the last shots, I really just mimicked to do so, and. We did. Unfortunately, we didn't took these because they were really crappy. Yeah. Yeah.
Set, not good.
No, actually, that's the most funny thing we have out of that. We did it quite efficient, so there is no monster story waiting. No, besides the 32 no, nothing besides the 30 times and another time. Yeah, thank you. We're doing this for 4 hours now. And yeah, it's getting really, and really lyrics losing its sense after the 20th time or something. And you're like, what I'm doing here? What is this coming out of my mouth? And he actually forced me kind of way, because I was that kind of loudmouth and I was saying that I would be able to do so, and which was absolutely not the case. And yeah, and he actually forced me into the booth, and I was like, I had some lyrics, and then there was the moment of truth where I had to sing, and I was too shy, and these guys had to leave the studio. They were like, hey, how the hell we start the recording? Yeah, it's easy. I go out of the booth, start the recording, go back into the booth, perform the vocals, go back, stop, and then I let you guys back in. So that was the start of it. It's actually long ago, and I'm a bit more confident nowadays. So yeah, but hey, everyone starts with the first step. I'm pretty much off. Like the album, there's a third single coming in out of the album, and with remixes like from Madonna Twins and Mary Jane Coles and stuff, and D-Tron from Switzerland. So that's the thing right now, and in a few weeks the summer festival season in Europe starts, and that will keep you busy for a month. And so there's actually not thinking besides anything of that, because you're rushing through all these festivals. Yeah. So yeah, that's basically it. Work for the end of the year, and then I'm maybe thinking about what will be the next step. No, like the first musical genius. How about that? And yeah, everything in composing. Like modern Western European music in composing based on that. You can find it everywhere.
All right, and is there anything else you would like to add to your viewers in China?
Have a lot of fun at the Great Wall Run.